A scientist who blames people's backward thinking for dismantling of his robot. Every scientific invention has initially considered dangerous. In the beginning, people strongly opposed them. However, the first person to dismantle this very robot was the scientist himself. This is the story of Dr. Vasee, whose dangerous robot Chitty was banned by the government because it had killed thousands of people. But after all that, the government once again gives him permission to build a new robot. This is the robot he created, Project Neela. Vasee has programmed feelings into Neela, pre-programmed, customizable, and controlled feelings. But how exactly did Vasee give Neela emotions? Because Chitty got his emotion because of lightning, right? Maybe he knows magic. Now, some robotic research students come to see Neela. I mean to study her. Damn, she's really cute. But Neela doesn't have what Chitty had. We'll need Chitty someday. Of course, everyone still remembers Chitty killing the police. They still remember him killing the military. And they definitely haven't forgotten him killing civilians. Unfortunately, Vasee's girlfriend Sana is only present in this movie through audio. And even today, she's still preparing for her medical exams. Are you studying like a crazy person? Because Chitty isn't around anymore to help her cheat. So her exams keep piling up. And because of this, Vasee doesn't even answer Sana's calls. 112 missed calls. And besides, Vasee has already found himself a toy girlfriend. But then, everything changes when people's mobile phones suddenly start flying out of their hands. Apparently, someone has a serious problem with cell phones. But our public isn't stupid. They immediately figured out who might be behind all this. Manu, I'm telling you, this could be our principal's plan. Maybe it's a gang conspiracy. This is a terrorist attack. And now, because nobody knows how to stop this, the entire country starts facing a huge problem. Constipation. I even take my phone with me when I go to bathroom. Now I don't even feel the pressure. On top of that, the mobile thief steals phones from a new shipment container, making everyone's constipation even worse. Now the real bad days begin. But then the killing spree starts. The mobile thief brutally kills a mobile shop owner, a mobile network employee, and even the telecom minister. But before killing them, he calls them using other people's voices. Then, that's when we realize that the mobile thief is actually a mimicry artist. Vasee tracks the signal of his phone to the location where it disappeared. And there he comes face to face with the mobile thief's giant fingernail. Apparently, nothing like this has ever been recorded anywhere before. Then the nail tries to kill Vasee by dropping a tower on him. But then Vasee survives. The mobile thief simply leaves him alone. This is definitely AI. His tokens should have ran out, so he could only make a nail. Now to solve this problem, all the scientists hold a meeting, and Vasee arrives looking like Hermione. Oh, he knows everything. I've studied all the NASA studies and Interpol records. Someone asked him about the alien theory. No sir, I have studied the ISRO reports. There is currently no evidence of alien movement or activity in space. Then they ask him about a conspiracy by foreign companies. Vasee says that, as far as he knows, every cell phone in the city suddenly started flying like birds. There's no technology like this anywhere in the world. And throughout the meeting, everyone keeps repeating the same thing. We currently cannot provide a scientific explanation for this. But then, this can be explained scientifically. Apparently, whatever technology science cannot explain, Baba Vasee can explain. The fifth force. Maybe this fifth force has something to do with attraction of the cell phones. And Vasee's plan became clear. He wanted to make this technology look so powerful that nobody can fight it. And right now, we have no way of controlling it, except one. Obviously, to fight it we need a superpower. Someone with extraordinary intelligence who cannot be killed. Chitty, the robot. Didn't someone already make some nonsense robot here before? But one man figures out Vasee's strategy. It's Dr. Bora's son. Just like his genius father, he can predict Vasee's future plans. He realizes that Vasee is using this critical situation for his own benefit so that he can market his killer robot to multinational companies. Why are you so angry with me? And after rejecting Chitty, the government does exactly what governments usually do when they face a huge problem and have no solution. Call the Air Force. But when even military cannot solve this problem, the Home Minister orders Vasee to revive Chitty. Activate that robot Chitty immediately. But Vasee reminds him of the rules and regulations he himself established. And also, these are the same rules and regulations Vasee himself broke just one night earlier when he broke into a museum. This is ethical hacking, it's an exception. And once again, after having their phones stolen, our smart citizens go out to buy new phones. They are very sharp, bro. But then the mobile thieves arrive. This time, unlike before, he doesn't come with a free plan. He upgrades himself and buys the pro plan and comes with a whole body. But then, guess who comes to fight the birds? Chitty. Yeah, his last experiences with these guys went really well, didn't it? Have we already forgotten how completely out of control Chitty became? How many people died? How many property was damaged? And now, to fight the bird, Chitty first uses the one thing that already doesn't work against it. Guns. Extraordinary intelligence, my ass. But then, Chitty burns the bird, which actually works for a while. And after this 10-minute long battle, our newly upgraded robot's battery starts running low. This is the super robot you made? But it has been revived with the latest technology. Just like our phones goes into low battery mode at 20%, Chitty goes into low battery mode at 1%. Because apparently, on low battery, he can't even run 100 meters. What kind of a robot have you made? And now the bird is just about to finish Chitty in the open round. But luckily, a positive force saves him. A force with extraordinary power that nobody can kill. And now, we finally discover what the fifth force actually is. The fifth force is basically a soul. Apparently, the negative energy controlling the bird is the soul of a human being who no longer has a physical body. Only his aura remains. Aura what? So Vasee creates a photon synthesizer that emits this positive energy. Using the power of this device, they can neutralize the negative energy. Wow, what a plan! And the synthesizer is taken to the place where the bird is peacefully sleeping. When they blast energy at the sleeping bird, basically waking him up the same way you would wake up a sleeping person by throwing water on them. It was sleeping, man, it was dreaming. And once again, the bird is about to be finished. But as we all know, Vasee's work is never completely finished. So after neutralizing 50% of the bird's energy, the machine malfunctions. Didn't somebody already made some useless robot here? And after 50% neutralization, the bird lays an egg. What is this? Were they neutralizing him or helping him reproduce? And from that egg comes the mobile man, also known as Bird Rajan. Nice. Then Bird Rajan and Chitty fight, but Chitty has only one objective. This must be eliminated. Primary task. But first, Chitty listens to Bird Rajan's tragic story. This is the story of Bird Rajan, who is deeply disturbed by the damage being caused to birds by radiation from mobile towers. Because of this radiation, birds loses their way and disappear. Their entire population is being destroyed. So Bird Rajan wants mobile network companies to reduce the frequency of their towers. They keep increasing the frequencies however they want, just to keep subscribers connected. Because of this radiation, an entire generation of birds is heading towards destruction. But what Bird Rajan doesn't know is that mobile network companies aren't increasing the frequencies for their own benefits. They are apparently increasing the frequency to improve our digestion. I even carry my phone to the bathroom. Now I don't even feel the pressure. Bird Rajan starts organizing Bird Life Matters campaigns everywhere to raise awareness about the issue. But as you know, what does the government think about protesters? Don't these people have anything else to do? As soon as the sun rises, they start protesting from dogs, cats, crows, papers, and birds. What does the government think about this activism? Go write a letter to the media or stand in the sun holding a flag. Who cares? And if these people started their own political party, the government would probably say they will become politically powerful. Meanwhile, a cell phone tower is installed near Bird Rajan's home. The moment the tower is switched on, birds begin dying. Now you are exaggerating. And in his grief, Bird Rajan takes his own life. So what? Should we mourn? But poor Bird Rajan doesn't know that after his death, a government will eventually come along and implant his suggestion. Let's allow only 2 networks that strictly follow regulations. Look at that. Now there are only 2 major networks left in India. The Modi government listened to Bird Rajan. And there's obviously no other reason. You know how it is. And after dying, Bird Rajan transforms into these cute and innocent looking birds. Except they look evil. And now, Bird Rajan is going to take revenge for the death of millions of birds. But instead of taking revenge on the people responsible for the radiation, he targets the people who once threw him out of his office. But why does he kill these people? Because according to him, anyone who owns a cell phone is a murderer. Now after returning from the flashback, Bird Rajan suddenly starts speaking. I shouted so much. I went from street to street begging. I even held people's feet and begged them not to use cell phones. Chitty doesn't like this sudden change in his voice. So he switched on the photon synthesizer, thinking his job is finally over, but Bird Rajan attacks him. Chitty, a robot with extraordinary intelligence that nobody can kill, but then Neela saves him by giving him her MPU. And just like Birdrajan laid an egg, after being 50% neutralized, after reaching 90% neutralization, he becomes naked. Oh my god. What kind of logic is this, sir? Finally, Vasee completely neutralizes and captures Birdrajan. And Vasee gets honored for his achievement. This gives him the perfect excuse to market his robot. This city would have been destroyed. Chitty came back, and that's why we survived. And Vasee's plan succeeds. The Indian Army places an order of 500 Chitty robots. The order of manufacturing 500 Chitty for the Indian Army has been approved. And this was exactly Vasee's dream. My goal is to create many advanced humanoid robots and provide them to the Indian Army. But this is all just a cover. Vasee's real plan begins after this. He uses this critical situation for his own benefits, so he can market his killer robots to multinational companies. Because once these robots become a hit with the Indian Army, foreign companies will definitely want to buy them. You know how it works. But how is this robot going to become a hit? The robot doesn't even know the difference between his own MPU and another robot's MPU. Why did you install my MPU inside me? Oh, by mistake. And then somehow comedy nights with Kapil, Kumkum Bhagya, serials, all these things somehow gets inserted into his MPU. Extraordinary intelligence. But Junior Bora isn't going to let the Indian Army suffer his loss. So he releases Birdrajan's soul again. Plan collapsed. And as soon as Birdrajan is released, he doesn't kill Vasee. Instead, he does what is appropriate for a soul. He possesses Vasee's body. Maybe that's what the fifth force actually is. But then Chitty arrives. And in 2 minutes, Birdrajan completely destroys him. Because Chitty now has even more human emotions than a human being. So many emotions that he is willing to put the entire world at risk just to save one man. And now, Birdrajan shows us that mimicry isn't his only hobby. He also plays football part-time. Now I understand why India never qualifies for the FIFA World Cup. The truly talented guys are busy doing everything else. No wonder the team loses. But then Neela arrives and she gets scared. But then she reads Vasee's message. Chitty 2.0 is coming home. And someone asks, what if the robot kills someone? Who will be responsible? Nothing like that will happen, sir. But for that, they need Red Chip, which is lying around in an unsecure place collecting dust. This is our defense system, sir. Wait a minute. So to face a real-world danger, Vasee needs Chitty 2.0, a robot that actually exists because of Dr. Bora's Red Chip. And as soon as Chitty 2.0 is reborn, he doesn't ask about Sana. But don't worry, old Chitty fans, he's still the same old Chitty. Give a beautiful kiss to your great king, baby. And although Neela is a robot, she knows exactly how to get things done with men, just like every other woman. Simply play with their insecurities. He's more powerful than you. Now he's number one, not you. And now, for his grand finale, Birdrajan chooses a place where he has dreamed of performing since childhood. A football stadium. A stadium packed with people. So packed that even Sunil Chetri's eye would fill with tears. How much are you going to make me cry? Then Junior Bora debt of milk is paid when Birdrajan turns him into ash. You're a consumer too. Both father and son gave these people a new life, And this is how they repay them, by ending their lives. And now, Birdrajan plans to kill all these football fans using the radiation from mobile towers installed right beside the stadium. We currently cannot provide a scientific explanation for this. But then, Chitti 2.0 arrives. Unlike 1, he isn't an emotional crybaby. But if the entire world is at stake, he is willing to sacrifice Vasee and thousands of football fans as well. So Chitti first uses guns against Birdrajan. Obviously, they don't work. Extraordinary intelligence. How does this guy not know that? Don't these robots transfer information between themselves? He knows everything about Neela. Neela, the lucky woman. And what's even more surprising is that Chitti has enough time to create an army of robots and train them, but he can't build another photon synthesizer. The device that could actually destroy Birdrajan in 5 minutes. I think he's gone crazy. But no problem. Chitti uses the one thing humans have been using against birds for centuries, a cage. So Birdrajan responds by splitting apart and forming a giant joint structure. And as you already know, Birdrajan loves mimicry and football. But do you know about his other extracurricular activities? Like WWE, sword fighting. After 10 minutes of wrestling and dancing, do you know what happens? You wouldn't even be able to guess. Chitti's battery runs low. Birdrajan is about to drain Chitti 2 just like he did with Chitti 1. But then Chitti's backup plan arrives. Version 3. This is Chotu. Chotu can perform even more advanced tasks than 2. Advanced tasks like kidnapping, blackmailing. Boss, if you disturb him, a pigeon will die. Then Chitti fires an enchanted bullet that forces the soul to leave the body it has possessed. We currently cannot provide a scientific explanation for this. And finally, after frying Birdrajan by the synthesizer, Chitti 1 is handed over to the Indian army.